Have you ever worked on a team with a few team members, each having to accomplish a task in order to complete the project? This is simple when it's just you and the team members in a room, but imagine now there's 50 other teams, each having their own project. The situation can get noisy really quickly, and you can lose communication with your team members, and there can be quite a lot of confusion. Yet this is the type of environment that the cells of our bodies must exist in and navigate. They exchange thousands of messages with each other every second. And those messages control really important activities for cell growth, tissue repair, movement, breathing, activities that keep us alive and healthy. How does a cell know what to do and when? On the surface of cell, there is thousands of decoders that listen for particular messages. Those decoders are also known as receptors. And the receptor that I studied listens for messages for cell growth. Part of the receptor faces outside of the cell, and part of the receptor faces inside of the cell. Under normal circumstances and in healthy cells, when a message for cell growth comes in from a neighbor cell, for example, the outside of the receptor grabs hold of this message, and then it goes find another receptor that has also encountered that same message. And those two come together in a physical exchange, like a handshake, before they alert the cell that indeed there has been this signal for cell growth and this process is needed. Unfortunately, in individuals that have tumors, their cells are unhealthy. Their receptors are deformed and they no longer function under the normal communication principles of the handshake. In my research, I study what is the nature of the normal handshake. What are the points of contact? Is it a long handshake? Is it a short handshake? And what is the intensity of the signal provided into the cell once this handshake happens? And I also study how the deformations to the receptor in those unhealthy cells turn on and signal when there's no message whatsoever. Do they signal on their own? Do they need a handshake? Do they do some other form of interaction such as a fist bump? And what I have found is that indeed the handshake provides a very, very intense signal for cell growth. However, the deformed receptors can provide different amounts of signal, but very often. So the cell is constantly hearing this message for cell growth and is undergoing this process. When we understand how deformed receptors are affecting the handshake and what principles they're working behind, we can tailor therapies to individuals very early on so that then we can restore communication between their cells and give them back their health.